Beltone Hearing Aid Center presents The Drive.
Ready?
The Drive.
Elmore deep, left side three is good! From 30 feet, John Elmore!
The Drive with Paul Swann.
Welcome into the Monday, October 29th edition. Your drive begins now here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. I've got the former Thundering Herd quarterback Dave Walsh with me as well. We're here at the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue, Huntington. Every Monday, you can come down to the Union and enjoy the Monday special. $1.50 bottles and $2 call shots. And, of course, they've got the TVs on right now. You can get set for Monday Night Football. World Series is over, so you don't have that to enjoy this week.
I found out baseball's over, and you know who won. I won't go there, but I'm pretty happy right now.
Who won, Dave?
The Red Sox.
Where's your Red Sox hat? Where's
I
your
had
gear?
last week. I think I was doing some research. Two things that were amazing. The way they played on the road all the way through the year and the playoffs. And you realize, counting the World Series and the playoff games, they won 119 games total this year.
That's not terrible.
The big thing was other teams had done that and did not win it all. This year, they did it and won it all. A lot of praise being heaped on Alex Cora, rookie manager, pushes all the right buttons. A guy that gets picked up mid-season from Toronto, MVP of the World Series. Things are going your way when that kind of happens. Chris Sale, prominent starter, gets the last 3 outs for you last night. So, hey, whatever it took, they were all in.
I'm surprised you're not sporting your gear, though. You should be doing your victory lap. You're unlike a lot of fans. You're not actually a bandwagoner.
It's my dad was there, and I enjoyed it. But, you know, they won, and now they're going to have to repeat next year. And then as quickly as you see those things happen, you turn on TV this morning, and if you lived in Cleveland, not a place you want to coach.
Well,
not a place you want to coach.
Unless you're trying to get a coaching job
Right.
and you think you're the man for the job, because not only did Cleveland Cavaliers fans lose their coach,
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns fans
Got rid of
probably
him.
gleefully lost their coach as Hugh Jackson got the hook. He's out now. And the offensive coordinator as well, Todd
Yeah.
Haley, he's out as well for the Browns. So if you're a coach looking for a job, you can send your resume to the Cleveland Browns today.
I'm not
Same
so sure
thing
I'd
for the
want
Cavs.
to, but, you know.
What is it about that organization, it is a pit of misery? It really is.
The last 4 years, he was 336-1 in 4 years, and you're thinking, you get these draft picks every year, and what is going on that you cannot sustain something? And people that are probably getting drafted, you're going like, no, not there, not there, not there, thank you, and they go there. Baker's entrenched now, Baker Mayfield, but it's just not, I don't know why. They cannot make it happen.
And then you've got my Bengals who are enjoying mediocrity.
Exactly.
At
But
least
yesterday,
at least mediocrity is better than what's going on in Cleveland.
Last time they lost at the buzzer to Pittsburgh, and yesterday, I think they won at the buzzer. A little field goal. Vinny didn't play, I understand, yesterday. He was hurt. Did not play with the Buccaneers. I don't know if that made a difference, but, 37. Bengals put up 37 and made a long day for Jameis Winston.
And, of course, we also had basketball. We're going to get into that a little bit
Oh,
later
that was
on.
fun, too, yesterday.
Yeah, Marshall exhibition play taking on Glenville State, and that was fun to watch. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in detail later. I've got player reaction from last night, so we'll hear a little bit of that. It's a couple of minutes. John Elmore, C.J. Burks. I thought Burks looked really good out there. They've got some things to work on.
They do.
There's no defense once again in D'Antoni, or no D in D'Antoni, as the joke goes. But no, they got a lot to work on, and Glenville State mirrored Marshall in so many aspects. So it was Marshall basically playing
It was
a
an up and
version
down
of
game.
Marshall.
It was an up and down game.
So you're not going to see much defense.
And I'm sitting there, and my son was with me. We're going like, I was counting the threes. I lost track. 17 for Glenville yesterday. They were, as quick as Marshall puts them up, Glenville did not hesitate either. And the guy who used to play here, Bledsoe, had a nice day. And that one guy, Mr. Polydor, 34, he was 8 of 10 from long range. He was better off shooting half court than he was 15 feet.
Here are the numbers. 3-pointers yesterday in that contest. Marshall shot 8 of 25 from the three-point line. Glenville State shot 17 of 37 from the three-point line. That's impressive.
And I'm thinking, this team was picked to finish 8th in their conference. It must be an unbelievable 7 playing ahead of them. I know it's the first game. It's an exhibition. And Danny said it. I didn't see that shooting coming, and we have things to work on. They got out-rebounded by a Division II team. By 2, but still.
I'm not going to put too much into that.
No,
it's exhibition.
That's right.
You're getting guys out there that might not see the court that much. You're trying to figure out what your team's about. So I'm not going to put too much into that.
He had, the Jansen Williams and the regulars back. Then he's got the new guys who've made a lot of noise, but they haven't taken the floor yet. And as Danny told you that day at practice, they've had some success, but now they're at this level, and they haven't, and they're going to get a taste of it. And yesterday they found out, even though it was, it's a different game. It's a different game, but you liked Iran. I thought he almost knocked a guy out yesterday on the pick. I projected he will take somebody out on a pick and rip down a backboard somewhere this year before it's over. And the other guys the newcomers looked pretty good. And the returnees, Rondell Watson, Darius George, are smoother than ever. So, Danny knows what's got to be fixed between now and Thursday, and then a week from Wednesday when they start playing for keeps at Eastern Kentucky.
So no panic here.
No.
Not on my part anyway.
No.
And it was fun yesterday because for a lot of fans, maybe this was their first opportunity to get into the Henderson Center since the new scoreboard
was nice.
went up. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice fixture, but now that we've all seen it, we can start just watching the game again.
Right. What was amazing? Almost 5,800 yesterday. Sunday afternoon, almost 5,800. That's encouraging. Danny's got the interest level going.
What else is there to do on a Sunday, right?
Well, your Bengals were on. But that was early. You could have watched them and then came on down.
I watched a little bit of that and then came on down to the game.
Yeah.
And, of course, we're going to see mostly Wednesday, Thursday, or Saturday games. Just depends on the Conference USA schedule. There is a Sunday game coming up here in the regular season. But for the most part, you're going to get one midweek game and you're going to get a weekend game. It works out that way.
That was fun. And at the same time, you're thinking, we're back to football as well. Big trip to Southern Miss. I guess they have to figure out when they're going to leave because the president's coming to town at the airport. So they got to make different travel plans or something to get out of town. But
they've got top men on that, so I'm sure the logistics people are working that out as we speak. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
They'll make it, and Southern Miss,
they'll probably get the heck out of town beforehand.
Remember, Southern Miss lost to Charlotte, so many scenarios that we've been talking about are lining themselves up right now.
All you need is one more middle loss, and then you beat FIU if you're Marshall, and then you should be good.
It's on you.
You need that. That's your optimal scenario. That's what you want to happen.
Right.
You can't think about that, though, until we get to the FIU game and Marshall has won them all.
Yeah, and I'm sure Doc will make that point tomorrow.
I'm sure he's made it.
The coach speak, he's already made it.
He's made it.
And I'm sure your PIs today, they did the same thing. All we're thinking about is the Golden Eagles in Hattiesburg. We're not looking anything past that.
They really spend a lot of time on themselves. And we're going to hear some of the interviews here when we come back from break in a few minutes. I got a few quick ones, so usually we just hear pieces and bits of it. But we're going to hear a couple of them in entirety today. I've got coming up, we've got Izzy Johnson. We've got Alex Thompson. A little bit later on we'll hear from Malik Gant, Artise Johnson. We'll hear some audio from basketball later on as well. Get those guys' thoughts on that. So we've got a full show. We're coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill. I remind you every Monday to come down to the Union Pub and Grill. It's where you get the $1.50 bottles and $2 call shots as the Monday special. 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. You're listening to The Drive. We are presented by Belltone Hearing Aid Center on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Buckle up. Paul Swann has the wheel on The Drive. ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We are presented by Belltone Hearing Aid Center. Welcome back. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. We're joining you today from the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. The Monday special, $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots. Every Monday here at the Union Pub and Grill. So, Dave, it's football week again. We can start ramping up, getting set for the Thundering Herd as they're going to try to finish out the regular season, hopefully undefeated, and then in that spot for the East Division title. They got to stay undefeated to do so, get a shot with FIU. They can win that and hope everything falls in place then, but they want to keep their sheet clean the rest of the way. So, tough opponent, Southern Miss. I still think they're a tough opponent. I mean, I don't think that the loss against Charlotte is an indicator.
I think Southern Miss and Marshall kind of, what I called them a while back is the flagships because, Marshall's been in this league for double digits. Southern Miss before that had a great history. They hit some skids there for a while, but they're the flagship of the league so far over the time. And right now, they're in transition a little bit, up and down, win one, lose one. Quarterback was out. They had a backup come in. Almost bailed them out at Charlotte, but Brad Lambert got the job done. They're 4-4, and they're coming here. The next home game is Charlotte. So, but the one thing about Charlotte, it was what they did at North Texas a few weeks ago. Even though things are going well, when we've said to ourselves, we're our fans. They announced 8,000 at that game with Southern Miss, and that's one of those means like a lot less than that. And they announced, 23 our last home game. I don't know, but I'm thinking 23 is a lot better than 8. Pay them a lot more bills. Of course, Charlotte's a little bigger than Huntington, but at the same time, you've got a very nice facility. You've got a team that's turned things around.
You got to get the fans interested.
And even the students aren't there.
Winning helps.
Yeah.
Winning will get fans interested.
Right.
Even then, it's tough sell. You could be undefeated. It's a tough sell
and
right
Charlotte
now.
will be a tough sell with what they have going on a Saturday. You have a lot of entertainment options.
So that's coming up. But we've got Marshall Southern Miss, and it's an off week, so the guys get an opportunity to work on themselves.
Get healthy.
They don't game plan as much. They're not doing 2 weeks straight of the coaches are, but they're not doing 2 weeks straight of just looking at film, game planning. They're working on themselves, doing things to make themselves a better team because they can get everything they need in a short period of time to get ready for. But they have a head start. That's the advantage of the off week. So we talked to Alex Thompson earlier and just wanted to get a kind of impression from him how the off week go. Here's what he had to say.
We really got a chance to focus on ourselves. Get guys back that were injured, and I think we had a really good week of practice. And you're not preparing for a team. You still want to get better, and I think we did that, and we took advantage of the bye week.
Personally, for you, was it good just to have not an opponent to get ready for, just more to just get yourself ready to work with the team more?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the wide receivers, we want to really get the passing game hasn't been asked for these last 2 weeks, so we think it will be because Southern Miss is really good against the run. So we worked on what we see on the field between myself and the other receivers. So I think we took advantage of the bye week.
How beneficial is it to get that extra time? Just because, like Jordan was saying, they bring a lot of different looks, a lot of different sequences at you, and you're going to have to be able to identify those and get the right play in.
Yeah, it's always a big part when you play a three-down defense, because they can bring it from anywhere. So, we got to watch their film of the last couple weeks, and then I know personally I watched their game against Charlotte last week, and they do bring a lot of different looks and everything. So as long as we're able to identify where the blitz is coming from and check the run game to where it's not. So I think we'll be fine, and getting that extra week to prepare for them is helpful.
Did you get a chance to assess yourself and look at some of your own film and sort of self-scout this week and sort of fine-tune some of those things?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This will be my 4th game starting, so I think it's really time to I had those 3 weeks to kind of feel it out a little bit, and especially with the bye week, I got a chance to assess what we were saying, and I'm just really looking forward to these last 4 games, and really looking forward to it. That's about all I can say for that.
For you on the outsides especially, it seems like some of the deep balls have been right there, but it's just been a little bit off. Is it a matter of just getting reps with
that's like I was saying, we worked on that a lot during practice. We're missing just by a step or balls behind or something, whatever the case might be, but when you get a week of practice not preparing for anyone, you can kind of relax because you're not really pushing forward, and you can see, all right, why is this ball missing by a yard? Why is it underthrown by a yard? Whatever the case may be. So I think that the bye week was really helpful, in terms of myself and getting a connection with the wide receivers.
How comfortable do you feel running the ball? You have fun out there doing that?
Yeah, at Wagner we didn't run a lot of read option because we were more of a pro style. But if the defense is gonna try to knife on the running backs all the time, and then I have to pull it, I will. And it kind of gets me going in the game. Taking a couple hits actually helps. If defense are going to continue doing that, we're going to continue. I'm going to continue pulling the ball.
Is that one of those things you have to convince, Doc and even Coach Crimson? It's like, hey, I get into a rhythm whenever I'm getting hit, as opposed to other quarterbacks. Normally, that's not the case.
Well, some quarterbacks are different. Some quarterbacks want a quick throw. I want that too, but I also like getting hit. Kind of gets me into the game a little bit. And running the ball gets me a little momentum. It keeps the defense honest. Now they have to worry about the quarterback run, and that might help out in the pass game a little bit.
As a quarterback, Dave, did you scramble a lot? Do you feel like you wish you had that in your repertoire, just to be able to take the ball and run 10, 15 yards, or did you just run for your life a lot?
I was going to say the latter. Sometimes it's pretty much self-preservation, trying to stay alive, making sure your life insurance policy is up to date, things of that nature. But, it's nice to hear him say an extra week. Remember what happened the last time when the game got canceled? They had an extra week. Things worked out pretty well. So hopefully he's had 2 weeks to hone in and spread the wealth a little bit better. But what really sounds good to me, and I've mentioned this to you many times, is the read option. He's not afraid to pull it. Southern Miss has got to beware. Hey, when they hand it off, not necessarily is he not going to, keep it. They got to respect him now, and I think he likes it. And he mentioned himself, I get hit a couple times. Hey, get my uniform dirty. I'm ready to rock. And then Brady, Obialo, and get that part of the game going, and let's see him rev it up. Because, when they won that game against FAU, people said, how many times has Marshall won a game with 100 yards passing? That's all they had.
You don't need it, though.
No, you take what they give you. But when you're conditioned to watch, the aerial circuses we've seen in the past, and you go 100 yards. But he had 50 rushing. So, hey, nowadays it's Cramsey, and then we're going to if that's what the defense gives us, we'll take it. And if they come up, we'll throw. If they back off, we'll make them pay another way.
It's a great dimension to add because you're keeping the defense honest.
Exactly. And one of these days he's going to fake it, take off, step back, and throw one, and you're going to watch the DBs go, uh-oh, somebody's going to be over the top. So there's a lot of things can happen off that play. But I think he likes doing it. And that's big. Because if you look around TV the other day, there's a lot of quarterbacks pulling that ride and read. A lot of guys taking off, making some numbers, making some yards. Except for the Alabama guy, too, because he's never in the game long enough to do it.
Doesn't have to.
He hasn't played in the fourth quarter yet.
Why would he have to?
He might not get a letter.
Why would he have to?
He doesn't.
The game's over.
I know.
That's going to change soon.
He might play in the fourth quarter this week, though.
That's going to change soon.
I know. But it's nice to see. And a Southern Miss game, this is the one that should pique people's interest because they're on the other side now, but it seems how the conference finds a way to keep them playing each other in football, which I think they should. That's one you should play.
I think it is deliberate, and it really makes sense for both those schools.
It's the other side of the league, but guess what? People will travel this weekend. You can get there, and then they can get there from here. I think that's the one team you want to, on the West, ship some other people in and out, but leave Southern Miss one of the two options every year.
I don't think you cater to them and play favorites to Southern Miss, but you make sure that Southern Miss is taken care of because a good Southern Miss is good for Conference USA.
Exactly.
I believe that.
Exactly. I mean, people want to know what's happening, and right now they're floating a little bit above 500, and that's not them. And I'm sure they're thinking, here's our chance to rebound this week. Coach Hobson, Coach Billings, former workers here, they know they're coming down there, and they know Marshall is going to give them a game.
Because what are the 3 seasons down in Southern Miss? Isn't it football, baseball, and then preseason football?
Something like that. But it used to be basketball. We had that one year where they went great, and then they had the recruiting issues or whatever happened, and they got the book thrown at them. So that's they're on a chill pill right now for the basketball. But no, football and baseball, hosting the conference tournament, great place.
As a quarterback, you're an offensive guy, but let's give a little love to the defensive guys now. It's going to be a great defensive matchup, I think, this week.
Did yesterday. I was at the basketball game. I saw Coach Hamrick. I walked up to him and said, Mike, I apologize to you. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, remember at the Old Dominion, the Middle Tennessee game, we're walking down, and I said something like, we can't cover anybody. What is going on here? It's been like this for years. The next 2 weeks, Old Dominion and FAU, they just blanketed everybody. I said, hey, I don't know what they did, but I got to say, hey, I was in error. I said, you have found a way to cover somebody and still make it tough? That's nice. Before that, you saw them throw up and down the field. Last 2 games, no. Old Dominion, all the numbers, nothing. FAU, nothing. And FAU now is going to scramble just to get to 6. They might not even make a bowl game. Hard to believe, but they got IU and North Texas left to play. 5 losses, 2 more, and Lane is home for the holidays.
Not a good look for FAU. But back to Marshall's defense. Caught up with Najee Johnson earlier, and same question to start things out. Just kind of want to get a feel what the off week was like for him as we get ready for Southern Miss. And here's what Najee had to say.
It felt good. We got players back. I got to rest my shoulders. We also got ahead of the game because we got to scout our opponent. I got to sit back and watch him actually play on Saturday, so it felt good.
It feels it's sort of loose, kind of. You don't have to get ready for an opponent, but you can really just maybe focus on yourself more. You're the opponent. You got to figure out what you need to do.
This week they told us it's us against us because we can't get complacent about not having a game this weekend. So basically they been on our backs about it, and we've been going to work. We know a lot about them since I know a lot about them. We got to watch them, the games and stuff like that. So we know a lot.
What's your early impression since you watched them a little bit?
I feel like they're a young team. They lost a lot of people last year. Young at running back. They got a new quarterback too. Outstanding wide receiver who's topping our conference. they beat us on slants last year in the red zone, sluggos. So there's a lot of stuff we can learn from last year's tape and this year's tape.
You look at Saturday's performance, and they did struggle with turning the ball over, which is something that you all have excelled at forcing this year. What is it, that they were struggling with, and how do you look to exploit that come Saturday?
Basically, if we just stay to our keys, they like RPOs. So if we just limit the RPO throws and jump the slants, push to the slants, we can exploit that. Our coach talked about we got to win the turnover battle to win games, to put our offense in position to score. So they're a young team, so if we can get them from not doing what they're coached to do, we can win the game.
I know that they had the kid that came from JUCO that played the majority of the game. They pulled him in the fourth, and then that offense got rolling behind the freshman. What did you see from both that y'all got?
One quarterback is he's different. He's good at what he does, and then the younger quarterback, he runs the ball hard. He's like a quarterback we faced earlier this year. He reminds me of the Middle Tennessee quarterback. He's good. He's going to be good for that program soon, but he is young, so there's little things he got to work on. But I feel like if we lock in this week, we got to create some turnovers.
If you see a freshman, is that the mindset? Just be the aggressor.
We got to be we got to be the aggressor because it's different coming from high school to college. It's way different. So if we can just exploit some of the little things he hasn't learned yet in the game, we can put us up.
Nazi Johnson earlier this afternoon. So
his point of emphasis: make the quarterback, the new kid, uncomfortable. Everything they can do to make him uncomfortable, not get set, find any rhythm. Make him struggle, get a lot of 3 and outs, and then go rest up and let the offense control the ball, do that, and we'll see what happens. But the big thing there, I heard him say one thing. We've seen that a lot too. Take away the slant route. I don't know how many times the middle game, guy 2 steps, breaks inside wide open. They've shut that down lately. So they'll have that in their mind, and then contain the guy on the run-pass option. And if he does run it, hit him. Contact. Let him know you're around. I mean, we saw what Kiffin said after the game. Marshall's defense, very good coming in, very good going out, and he said they were physical. We saw a lot of guys getting carted off the field that game.
We're coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill here in Huntington. It's 1125 4th Avenue, where the Monday special, $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots, and, of course, you can come on down tonight. You can watch Monday Night Football. Any night you come down, it's always fun, right, but especially on Mondays here with the Monday special. We've got more coming up. I'm Paul Swann with the former Marshall Thundering Herd quarterback Dave Walsh. You're listening to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann, presented by Beltone Hearing Aid Center on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill. Welcome back to The Drive. I'm your host, Paul Swann. I've got with me the former Young Thundering Herd quarterback, Dave Walsh. We're here today, of course, at our favorite place on Mondays. That is the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. Monday specials, $1.50 bottle, $2 call shots, all day, all night, right here at the Union Pub and Grill. We got Taylor taking good care of you today here.
Exactly.
So best
One
service
thing about
in town.
Herb, he always has good service.
The gang always takes care of us here.
No complaints in that area.
I'm just waiting for where's Herb? He hasn't made his appearance yet today.
Maybe he's getting over the Bengals. Hadn't got over that yet.
I don't know. He's got the place decked out though for Halloween.
Remember last week they started. You weren't here. You were rehabbing
the off week,
and the oranges going up last week as we were on.
So everything was great down here.
We sat out there last week.
You know, you sat out there. That Woody used to call that. Woody Woodrum, former host of the program previous to this one, he called it the Woody Den.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I'm in here. I'm hanging out with the people.
Exactly.
Plus, it's warmer in here.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And there's plenty of outlets.
Yeah. He's hanging out near the door. It's cold. It's warmer in here. So you can come on in. Come inside. It's the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. So today's Player Day, great opportunity for us to kind of get a feel for what the week's going to look like. We're going to hear from Doc Holliday tomorrow, but got a chance to catch up with a few guys today. And one guy we got to talk to, Dave, was Malik Gant. And again, you know, the theme basically is starting off, just kind of getting a feel for what the off week was like for him as we head into Southern Miss. And here's what Malik had to say.
It feels good just to get our body right and just focus up on the little things, just technique-wise and the little things. This week we really we didn't do a lot of game planning yet. We just focused on the little things and get back to the basics.
I feel good just get the off week and
Yeah, most
to
definitely.
work on yourself.
Yeah, most definitely. I actually had to go home for a funeral on Friday, so I missed one day of practice. But when I got on Thursday, so I missed one day of practice. So when I got back, it was like regular practice for us. We just went through went through everything, went through the techniques, went through just the basics, just getting back to basics, taking the off week to get our bodies right. We still were hitting, but we just took it for light days, really.
Is that sort of what you all like to stay in routine? So is bye week more about you all, and then Sunday you flip the script a little bit?
Yeah,
and get
most
back to
definitely.
routine?
Doc and Coach Phil always stress on us that when we have days off or when like situations like when we didn't play the South Carolina game, we take those days to get back to the basics and make sure everybody's fundamentally like sound, and make sure we take them as days just to focus on ourselves.
You look the last 2 weeks, y'all are +6 and coming off your one of your strongest performances in the last year or so.
Yeah.
Going up against Southern Miss team that you all saw on Saturday had troubles with turnovers. That make you lick your chops?
Yeah, we haven't really looked at a lot of film at them yet, but we are prepared to go against a good talented offense, and they do a lot of movement and a lot of things with their offense to catch you off balance and to get your defense off balance and just get you doing things that you don't normally do. So we just have to focus and lock in more during this week on their schemes and what they like to do.
And I asked Artis about this too. College football has become so much about offense. Is it fun to see 2 top 25 defenses and sort of give it that old school feel?
Yeah, most definitely. Being able to just have that old defensive feeling to the game instead of like the offensive game where you're just saying scores. Just having like a standout and not seeing a lot of scoring and just seeing an aggressive game, a physical game is like a very entertaining game when you play on the defensive side of the ball.
Is that something y'all pride yourself in, as being the aggressor and not being passive? And
most definitely. If you look at a lot of people on the defense characteristics, everybody's aggressive, physical, and we all have that same mentality, and that helps us during the game.
Smoley Gant earlier today over at Marshall, so they know this is going to be a fun game as far as the style of play that's going to be played. I think that's a correct way to describe it. Kind of be old school.
We're used to watching people up and down, up and down, up and down. They want to make the up and down pace a little bit slower. Make them work, because they do have a tendency to turn the ball over. Every time Marshall wins a turnover battle, except for one, they've won. And 1 week they lost a battle, and they still managed to win the game. So, make the quarterback uncomfortable, as I said. Make them work for yardage. They've done a really good job lately, Paulie, of not giving up a home run type play, big play. Even Lane Kiffin said that. The explosive plays we had last year, we didn't have this year. So they're making the team work, keeping everything in front of them, and it's so far so good.
We're here at the Union Pub and Grill. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you here, and we're going to be here till 6 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, let's talk a little basketball when we come back from break, because yesterday, of course, was the exhibition game against Linville State. Close score,
right.
Up and down. No defense there.
If you wanted to be entertained and just out, you were. 113-108. Some Marshall fans might be going a little uneasy right now what's going on. But like you mentioned earlier on, there's some new faces they're trying to work in. This is the first exhibition come mid-February, and so let's see where they are as the old saying goes.
I think I'm worried about what they're going to look like on Thursday.
Thursday with another
exhibition game.
Another MEC team coming to town.
I'll take it. All right, we're going to hear from John Elmore. We got C.J. Burks. That's coming up when we come back from break. You're listening to The Drive. We are presented by Belltone Hearing Aid Center. We're coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington. It's all right here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Live with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Monday edition of The Drive. Coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill. Every Monday, you can join us at 1125 4th Avenue in Huntington, and we make it enticing for you because after work, come on down and enjoy the Monday special. $1.50 bottles, $2 call shots, of course. Best service in town. We got Taylor taking good care of you today, so come down, visit her. see the folks here at the Union Pub and Grill. I'm Paul Swann. I've got the former young Thundering Herd quarterback himself, Dave Walsh, with me as well. Every Monday joining me here at the Union Pub and Grill. We usually talk football, but it's time to talk basketball. We touched on it earlier, but yesterday was one of those games where just throw the defense out. It's just going to be up, back, forth. Everybody's looking up, seeing the new scoreboard, then looking at all the baskets being made, then looking up at the replay. It was one of those head-moving days yesterday. How'd you enjoy that? You were sitting where you caught yourself looking up a lot more.
Well, I was a little bit higher in the beginning and moved down, but I was just like this, up, back. It was kind of fun. 60-some to 50-some at halftime. We've seen the games double overtime. That was the final score, and they still got a half to go. They had 100 before. There's still 10 minutes to go in the game. They're at 100, so it was an entertaining game. And I'm sure Danny's got the film on, going like, fellas, did this okay, but we got some work to do before Thursday and definitely before next Wednesday, because then it counts. We cannot have what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, I think, offensively. But, they got to work on some things. Again, this is what exhibition's for. You got to work on things.
Just the video was like the first time since they were out in California, so it's the first time been live combat, so to speak. And new characters, they got to blend them in like he did last year.
Right, and they face off against an opponent that was well prepared.
Right.
So it was a good challenge for them. Now, after the game, some of the guys, we got a chance to catch up with them, including John Elmore, C.J. Burks, Darius George.
Yeah.
So just want to kind of get their feeling for, what it felt like to actually get out there, play a game, and John Elmore leads off.
Felt good. Finally played against somebody in a different uniform. We've been battling with each other for a long time now, it seems like. But we showed some good things. We showed we could score a lot of points, but our defense has got to get a lot better. We got to get in better shape. But, that's what these are for, see where we stand, see what we got to improve. So we're going to go back to the drawing board on Monday. We have tomorrow off, and watch film and improve. And I think we're going to be good, but we just got some things to improve on the way.
How fun was it? You look over there, you see Ott in a suit, so coaching against you.
It was fun. We smack talked a little bit here and there. I didn't make very many three-pointers because I was going to run over by him and talk a little junk. But it was good to beat him. I'm going to have that, so I'll rub it in a little later.
For you, CJ, probably felt real good out there tonight. Get off to a fast start for you.
Oh, yeah, just with the help of my teammates, just getting to the floor of things, everybody before the game, we just been pumped up for a while now. So it's just everybody just coming in there, just bringing all the intensity. Intensity rubs off on people. So when you're just going in there, just flowing, hitting shots, it's just because the flow and the movement of everybody.
Obviously, CJ, much to work on, huh?
Yes, sir. It is much to work on. We'll get back to the drawing board, though. We're looking pretty good, though. It's just a lot of stuff we have to tweak and work on that'll come day by day. But we're looking at the bigger picture, and I think we're going to be very good.
Yeah, so the how close this game was and everything, that doesn't really bother you that much?
No, it doesn't bother at all. We know where we stand and things that we have to work on, make shots and things like that. But we know where we go back to the drawing board, and we'll get it right.
Darius, for you, obviously worked on your three-point shot.
Yeah, just getting that down pat because I needed this season. Because last year I was just working on my shot, getting that down pat, getting it faster. So this year it'll be good. It'll be great. Way better than last year.
John, for you, obviously, when you were in the Bahamas, worked on it. So you saw the debut, that little post-up game, saw a little bit today. Is that going to be something you guys go to more?
I think so. I showed a little glimpse of it tonight. Had a couple buckets down there, but we just stick to what we try to do, put guys in advantageous situations, and Coach D'Antoni does a good job of calling certain set plays, and had a little size advantage at certain lineups and certain matchups throughout the game, and Coach told me to go down there. So been working on that a lot, but I think the ball movement was pretty good. I don't think we shot threes phenomenal, but we got a lot of open shots, and we just got to keep improving day by day.
It's a close game, but Glenville, they made some pretty great shots. They played really well.
Oh, yeah, credit to them. They shot the heck out of the ball. It seemed like they started off on fire, and then I think they cooled off a little bit down the stretch, but not a whole lot. So credit to them. They've got a phenomenal young coaching staff with Coach Caldwell and Ott. I know they've been down here all summer scouting what we do and adding some of the stuff we do. So if you saw them defensively, they were running our schemes. If you saw them offensively, they were running our schemes. But credit to them for taking a totally new team. I think they got 8, 9, 10 new guys. So I think the future is bright for them. So definitely that's a team to keep an eye on.
The tightness of this game, how close it was because of so many new faces. Everybody trying to get used to the flow of the game? I mean,
Definitely. We played a lot of guys, a lot of different lineups, but at the same time, I saw like South Carolina lost the other day in their exhibition game. So anything can happen in these games. These guys are coming in; they're not here to get beat. So first exhibition game of the year, it's always going to be tough. You haven't played with each other, live game, referees, crowd there. You have a little bit of adrenaline you don't have in practice. So it's definitely a good learning experience. We got another one, so take it one day at a time, one game at a time, and hopefully keep improving as the season goes.
Kind of
spoken like a veteran.
Yeah, good attitude.
Yeah.
Again, they know this is just exhibition. This is what it's for. No panic here. I don't really even think that's something that's people just went out, enjoyed a high-scoring game, and now if this happens here in a couple of weeks, you're going to start wondering, okay,
what's going on?
What's going on? But I don't think that's going to be really a problem. This is more, okay, let's get these guys in tune. Let's get them actually into a game environment. Adrenaline's flowing.
Exactly.
They're finally going up against an actual opponent. This isn't practice. That team was out there to win. Even though it's exhibition, they were out there to win.
They didn't come here just to get I don't know if they got a check or not, but, get to play Marshall, play in a big building and whatever happens. No, they came here to put a W. Marshall knew that. Some other people have not been as fortunate in their exhibition games, but, unlike college football, they get a couple exhibitions to get their feet wet. Football, you kind of go in opening game and see what get to let it all hang out on the first game. They've got 2 reruns, practices, so to speak, practice games to iron out some kinks that John mentioned. And one thing he did I see yesterday, how many times did he go down low and had a little fallback shot down the lane? Not all of them went in, but I was going, well, he's expanding his repertoire a little bit. And one thing that hasn't changed, they cross half court, the ball could go up at any time. I mean, there's like one cross half court, hit CJ, it's gone. Maybe 5 or 6 seconds off the clock, and they're letting it rip.
Let's talk about CJ's performance. Everyone focuses on John, and so you should, because John's one of the best players ever to wear a Marshall uniform. But at the same time, hey, so is CJ Burks.
Exactly.
CJ was 10 of 13 in that game. He was 3 of 5 from the three-point line, hit his 2 free throws, had 3 rebounds, 25 total points. He had a great effort. He had 5 assists, 1 turnover. I'm not even looking at that anymore.
No.
He had a great line yesterday, and
he got points. Plus, he shared the ball and helped others get points.
Jared West. We haven't even talked about Jared West. He had 16 points in that game.
And I noticed one thing about Jared. He got some points, but at the same time, whoever's their best player going up the floor, Jared's on him. I mean, it's like that's not going to change. He's going to make it. He's a pain for the opponent in terms of I'm their best man. I'm going to say a lot of number 13 for 40 minutes.
Yeah, John's line was 6 of 17, 0 of 6 from the three-point line.
That's not him. That's not him. Hopefully Thursday that'll change. I'm sure he would be the first to admit it, but at the same time, new players, new faces and stuff, but, it's still a 20-footer, and he's so used to drilling them, he's got to do it. Got to do it. This is his last go-around. He can't declare and come back anymore. It's just play, and then whatever happens when it's over.
Yeah, the good thing about John, though, he was able to make things happen. He was almost at 10 points for assists, so, we could have got a double-double out of him.
Right.
He got 16 points, 9 assists in that contest. He had 8 rebounds, so he was out there contributing, just going to get that three-pointer to shot. You know how this offense is. You live by it, you die by it.
Another thing that's hurt him in times is free throws. Shot 26 yesterday, made 23. In games, they do that. That will make a difference more often than not. If they go 23 out of 26 or better, that's money at the bank, especially if John's shooting them.
The Herd, 41 of 77. Glenville State, 44 of 94.
They weren't bashful, were they?
No, they weren't.
They probably had to go home and ice their arms down when they got back to Glenville from just firing that ball up.
The free throw line was the Herd's friend, 23 of 26 there. Glenville State, 3 of 6.
Well,
the free throw
first thing
line.
You hear is where was the game played. Marshall pushing the ball down low. They were very content to play outside in. And Rand Barkley, first right out of the gate, goes one down, had a couple dunks. And they had several yesterday, the alley-oop styles. One that didn't quite work, but for a lot of those yesterday, you set the pick, throw the ball in, and 4 or 5 times. And those are the ones that bring the crowd to life when that happens. And the opponent knows it's coming, and they still don't have an answer for it. He's going to set a pick, roll the basket, there's the ball, boom.
I know it's a football adage, but you get better from week 1 to week 2 or game 1 to game 2.
Sunday to Thursday?
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Sunday to Thursday, exactly right.
Yeah.
Sunday to Thursday. What's going to happen on Thursday?
I'm sure
we'll find
Danny
out.
will have the tape pointing out, okay, this was nice, this was not so nice. Let's keep this going, but we got to clamp down on this end because come Eastern Kentucky, when we start playing for keeps, that could cost us. And this is just an exhibition game. That would be a real game.
And on the road.
Yeah, on the road. Even though it's down. I mean, this year again, they've got Eastern, Moorhead, High Union people. They're either home or away with those. I mean, games you can get to. A few MAC schools, Akron, Toledo. I like that. That's teams that they played for years, and they're good. Hey, they're good opponents. They're good opponents because unlike football, Marshall has a chance to do something that everybody else does. May not happen. They can play for national championship. If they get in the right situation, they have the opportunity. As you mentioned yesterday in football, even if they win the league, their bowl game's going to be the first or second week, and they're forgotten.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. You're playing for a championship in the conference, and then you're going to get a pretty good bowl. Good to average. You're not going to get a major bowl unless you're undefeated and you have a schedule that affords you an opportunity in an access bowl bid, and that's a rarity. You're not going to see that every year. It's something that can be achieved. It's just it hasn't been.
Yeah.
And Conference USA has shot itself in the foot just because every time there's a team that's right there on the cusp, something happens. Somebody finds a way to knock them off. But then again, you got to take care of your business. So it's really
because they had the games scheduled that would afford them the opportunity. But as we said, schedule's one thing. You got to win them. UCF schedules them, and so far they've won them, and they have the inside track now to the Access Bowl. That's all. They're going to get the pairings tomorrow night. The first, the playoff rating things comes out. You'll see UCF down there a little bit, and they'll start going boo-hoo, boo-hoo. But they're going until they schedule it and win it. Get used to Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Michigan. It's just like that's who's going to be there. That's who you've got to take down.
You said that Lane Kiffin has been derailed.
I want the train still running on campus because 3 and 5, FIU this week, still have to play North Texas on the road. I mean, Lane, they've got them penciled in for some bowl games, but if they don't get to 6, he may not be going.
FAU last year, FIU this year. That might be your East Division champion.
That's right.
Of course, the Thundering Herd still has something to say about this. How about Middle winning again?
Stockstill was back.
UAB is going to be where they might
That's
find
the last
some
game.
resistance.
That's the last game of the season, regular season.
That's where they're going to find the most resistance now. If they win that one, they're looking pretty good.
Yep. Head on to Murfreesboro. Unless UAB throws a monkey wrench and runs the table, then they'll be the host.
That's going to do it for this edition. We are coming to you today from the Union Pub and Grill, 1125 4th Avenue, Huntington. Paul Swann and the former Thundering Herd quarterback Dave Walsh reminding you, hey, Monday special, $1.50 bottle, $2 call shots every Monday at the Union Pub and Grill. We want to thank Belltown Hearing Aid Center, our presenting sponsor. We'll be back tomorrow to do all over again here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Good night, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Huntington Sports Station.